Yo, 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 yo. Let's talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's get it in, homies. That's what we're going to be about today, man. Check this out, man. Make sure I still got the chat up. Yeah. Justin B, what up, homie? What's good? Philosophy Extract, what up, bro? Give me this album, man. Just shut up. Gonna get it home. It's a little minute to slide up in here, man. Make sure everybody know that we in the place. Yeah, man. You know what? Let me change this out. T. Harris, what up, bro? Yeah, man. Let me go ahead. Wolf, what up, bro? Man, I don't know, bro. Ain't no Rams on, man. Ain't no, I come on the same time every night, pretty much, man. So I don't know what happened, man. Me and Ram will probably chop it up about it though. We actually supposed to be putting something together here pretty soon, man. We were supposed to try to get it done by the end of May, so we still got a little time left, man. But I really didn't even know the brother was on tonight, man. I didn't get an alert for him, so let me go check him out, man, and see if I can. I don't see, man. Where Ram coming on at? I don't know. I'm trying to check him out, man. I don't really see where he coming on at. What did thing? Got the thing. Yeah, I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the intention, but we about to go ahead and get it in and rock out, man. Bates, what up, home? I see the homie Bates in the building. All right, Ram coming on at 8. Yeah, I haven't gotten any notifications for him yet, man. Let me see. No, I still haven't gotten any. It won't be too bad, though. It won't be too bad. I always get Ram notifications, man. I just didn't get them this time. West Coast Heretic in the building. Punchline Jones. What up, Punch? No, I don't see it yet, man. Might have skipped me on the alert this time, man. I don't know, man. The homies ain't Yeah, I haven't even gotten it wrong yet, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really. I really had to get my mind right, man. To be talking to these dating coach dudes, man. You know, they be on some other stuff, man. Man, we're gonna get on this a few more minutes, man. I'm straggling on in, man. We're gonna give them a few more minutes here, man, before we go ahead and get physical on this thing, man. As a matter of fact, man, I'm tired of here. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and doctor some up right quick, man. That may work a little somehow, man. That may work a little somehow right there. We're gonna give them a few more minutes here, man. A few more minutes. Not long though, man. Ain't gonna be in here long, chilling. Finally got the studio set up, man. Took a whole lot of software downloads, man. One of them so big, man. It took hours to download. And it's a slow download process because it got a lot of meticulous files in it, man. So y'all bear with me here, man. All right, man. We're gonna have to go ahead and go in, man. Man, this thing here ain't looking. Let me see what I ain't got in here, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Man, Ram gonna have to get it together, man. I think Ram set up at 8 because I come on at 6. So I came on a little late. So what I do is I won't run too far over into the 8 o'clock hour. So Ram can go ahead and jump on, man. We won't have this overlapping. I know that's what he did. I know I'm gonna come on at 6, and so he set his stream to come on at 8, just to like give me my hour 45-minute 2-hour window. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact that's what he did. So I'll have to the same way he tried to look out for me, man. I'll try to look out for him and keep this thing short and sweet, man, and not run too far over into that hour, man. I may go for maybe an hour and a half, somewhere around there, man. It ain't gonna be too long though. Matter of fact, I get one more head in here, man. We're gonna go ahead and jump it on in. Yeah, they research all the unclean and clean animals, man. It's cool, man. What it does, man, it eliminates a lot of the things that you're gonna have to eliminate when you get old and sick. And they tell you that, if you want to get well, you gotta stop eating pork. You gotta stop eating red meat. You gotta stop eating this. Don't eat no more of that seafood. That's what they tell you when you get sick. When you get old and sick. All right, man, we're gonna go ahead and jump it on in, man. I can't wait too much longer. All right, man, as you can see, today's topic is the Pimp Proverbs. Of course, it was gonna be something else, but I ain't really like that title, man. I don't really like to put the name of my channel in my title because it kind of crosses up the search engine, man. I thought about that after I did it. So we're gonna get into the Pimp Proverbs. Now, what this is my own outlook on life. But in the vein of King Solomon, I wanted to give it to you raw. John Cordero, what up, homie? The homie from the BX is in the building. So there are many lessons to be learned when it comes to being a true man. This is not limited to your interaction with women, but encompasses every facet of life. In the vein of the great King Solomon, before he let all the wives cross him up and make him beta, I present to you my original creation, the top 15 Pimp Proverbs. Now, Q speaks the truth. What up, bro? What up? Good to have you in here, bro. Now, in an attempt to not gloss over any of these valid points, I sat down and did a little soul searching. I sat down, did a little game searching. I sat down, dug deep into the reservoirs of my history with women. Positive history, I might add. And I pulled all of the top level game that I could think of. And I also incorporated the principles of the Most High into this equation. So what you get is a game-laced, spiritually elevated list of Pimp Proverbs. And I say Pimp Proverbs because the main issue that men seem to have in this society always seems to pertain to their relationships with women. Ramon Henderson, what up, bro? So without further ado, let me introduce to you the top 15 Pimp Proverbs. Now, it is better to have a big girl who is submissive by nature than to burden yourself with a sweet petite enemy to thine manhood. Now, what do I mean by that? That means that it is better if you got a big girl with a pretty face who caters to your every whim. It is better to have her than it is to have that sweet petite little mommy who is an adversary to the traditional relationship roles, who is not willing to be submissive to you at any point. I say unto you, it is better to have a 5 who would do anything in her power to make sure that there's a smile on your face than it is to have a 9.4, because you know I don't do dimes, who will do nothing but bring turmoil and stress to your life by being adversarial, confrontational, combative, contentious. It is better to have a 4 who will do everything in her power to bring you the ultimate joy every single hour of your life than it is to have a dime, if you can find one, who will do nothing but bleed you dry, bleed you financially, bleed you emotionally, bleed you spiritually, bleed you mentally. And all you got in return is a little piece of eye candy. I'm telling you what I know. You see, this is what you have to understand. The main purpose that a woman can serve in your life is submission. If she's not willing to do that, then she is not worth whatever type of beauty she has, whatever type of financial success she has. None of those things matter if she is not willing to play that role that she needs to play. Mr. Barlow, what up, bro? Give a bird, the homies in the building. Dan F and Dizzle. I say unto you, brothers, it is more gratifying to live a life of voluntary, true forced loneliness than to lower thyself to the level of the cold approach. Now, I know you've heard a lot of things about the cold approach, and I'm going to tell you that any good thing you've heard about it was a bold-faced lie. There is no positive to the cold approach. The cold approach is the technique of a man who desperately needs the attention of women, of a man who desperately needs the affection of women, not a man who desires it, a man who needs it. So I say unto you, it is more gratifying to live a life of voluntary forced loneliness than to lower thyself to the level of the cold approach. There is no manhood in the cold approach. There is no masculinity in the cold. There is no pride in the cold approach. There is no self-prioritization in the cold approach. There is no self-pedestalization in the cold approach. There is no self-aggrandation in the cold approach. There is nothing in the cold approach that a man can be proud of. And even when he does bag the small percentage of women that he will, he is still a loser by percentage because he will never even bag 50% of the women that he cold approaches. It is a lose-lose situation. And I don't play lose-lose games, and you shouldn't either. West Coast Heretic, I appreciate the super chat, bro. Homer says, BOA, thanks, bro, for the distilled knowledge. Peace. No doubt, brother. I appreciate the super chat, man. Now, I say unto you that you will hear positive spins put on a lot of these things, and it is up to you as a man to decide if you will be gullible enough to allow a positive spin to be put on something that only has negative sides. The choice is yours. I am simply offering true pimp proverbs. I say unto you, my brothers, it is better to be covered in syrup and thrust onto an anthill than to rest thine head beside the pillow of she who hates thy masculinity. In case you didn't hear me, I'm going to say it one more time. It is better to be covered in syrup and thrust onto an anthill than to rest thine head beside the pillow of she who hates thine masculinity. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean that nothing in the world is worse than find yourself tied to a woman who would prefer you to be less masculine, a woman who would prefer you to be more effeminate, a woman who would prefer herself to be more masculine, a woman who wants to control the relationship with you in it or outside of it. Nothing is worse than that. So put your syrup on, find the biggest red anthill you can find and lay in it. Because if your life is based on being in the presence of a woman who detests you because you're masculine, the ants would be better. These are not things I'm making up, men. These are things that apply to our everyday lives. If you take every one of these things and apply them to your lives, I can guarantee you that you will see vast improvement. I will never give you any bit of information that will not drastically improve your life, not just improve the results of your life, but improve the way you feel about the way you go about getting those results. Verily, my brothers, I say unto you, embrace thine manhood, my brother. Cherish thy masculinity, for by it you will avoid the dismay which awaits the beta male simp mangina, who is enticed by the beauty of the emotional tyrant disguised as the love of his life. She hath no remorse for the damage she leaves in her wake, for her satisfaction shall be obtained at any cost, even the very soul of a man. I don't know if you heard me, so I'm going to tell you one more time. Embrace thine manhood. Cherish thy masculinity. For by it, you will avoid the dismay which awaits the beta male simp mangina, who is enticed by the beauty of the emotional tyrant, disguised as the love of his life. She had no remorse for the damage she leaves in her wake, for her satisfaction shall be obtained at any cost, even the very soul of a man. These are not things I'm making up, my brothers. These are things that come from years of experience in the game, years of experience in relationships, years of experience being a witness to the demise of other men's manhood because they chose to go the opposite route when it came to relationships. You see, once you decide to go that route, you lose a little bit of yourself. And I'm going to tell you a secret in case you didn't know, brothers. If you lose bits of your manhood, you never get them back. All you can do is preserve what you have left. So you see, once a man is a henpecked beta male simp mangina, he will never be anything more than a henpecked beta male simp mangina. But see, he looks less like a beta male simp mangina when he's by himself. If there's no woman around to capitalize on his weaknesses, he doesn't look as weak. But as soon as there's a woman around, every woman he interacts with in his life will be the same way. No matter how sweet and nice she is in the beginning, she will see a fool. And there is not a woman alive who can go a long time without capitalizing on a fool. What I say unto you, brothers, is this. The truth of the matter is this. Man was intended to rule, yet he has sought to please his woman more so than to honor his God. You know it, I know it, we know it. Man was intended to rule, yet he has sought to please his woman more so than to honor his God. That is why you see a man in the church, because his woman has wanted him to go, or his mother has wanted him to go, or his sister has wanted him to go, or his grandmother has wanted him to go, or they all in concert have put the pressure on him to go. When you see a man who does things like get into the 50-50 relationship mindset, it is because he is willing to compromise his own gift from God. Your manhood is a gift from God. Masculinity is a gift from the Most High. How dare you shun that gift and look the Most High in the face and say, you know what, your gift ain't good enough for me. I'm going to give half of it to this woman. You see what happened to Adam, don't you? You might as well call yourself Adam number 2. This is how these things take place, man. You cannot ever think about pleasing your woman more than you think about pleasing the owner of your own soul? What can this woman do to you besides leave you? What can the Most High do to you? The list goes unlimited. You will never run out of answers to that question. So why risk it for a woman who is very well dedicated to doing what benefits her, even if it doesn't benefit you? I say unto you, brothers, one thing the Most High despiseth, two he detests: a woman whose disposition is that of a man, and a man who submits to the rule of his woman. I say unto you, there are two things. One, the Most High despiseth. Two, he detests: a woman whose disposition is that of a man, and a man who submits to the rule of his woman. If you are submitting to the rule of your woman, you are not in the good graces of the Most High, because he has no respect for you. You see, when the Most High gives you a gift, it cannot be taken from you. You must give it away. And there is no shortness of wrath from him to you when you decide that you will take the gift of masculinity, the gift to rule, and you will take it and give it to the woman in your life. And sometimes to the women in your life. There are some men who are ruled by all the women in their lives, from their mothers to their daughters, to their sisters, to their aunts, to their girlfriend, to their wives, to you name it. The women in the church were ruling. He does not deserve any level of respect. He does not deserve any level of consideration when we are thinking about things that can enhance the quality of manhood in this society. He has chosen his side, and he has chosen to be on the side that is in limbo. They ain't masculine enough to be men, and they ain't feminine enough to be women. So they're just over there somewhere, being used by whoever they come into contact with. These are the things that we are talking about. I see many men in the company of these masculinated women, masculinized women. They act tough, they talk tough, voices kind of deep, probably got a few whiskers on their chin. You see, what happens, the same thing that happens with a man when he invites feminine energy into his life. He starts to lose his masculine energy, which means he loses his masculine qualities, which means so his body will not be muscular. You know, when you see an effeminate man, it is a whole lot harder for him to have a muscular, masculine looking body. By the same token, when you see a less than feminine woman, it's easier for her to have a more masculine body. It is harder for her to have femininity, that feminine beauty. You know, the feminine quality beauty that we see. There is beauty, and then there's feminine beauty. We know the difference. SJ3, salute, bro. So verily I say unto you, brothers, there is a man who so desireth a woman that he will slander the good name of his fellow man to elevate himself in her eyes. But as a fool, he is ensnared in his own trap, and the woman will desire it, the very man he hoped to ruin with his slander. Now, I've seen this happen a whole lot of times in my life, where what we call dirty macking. You see, I've had dirty macking played on me before, and you know what ended up happening? I ended up getting a girl anyway. Dirty macking doesn't work, because a woman knows in her mind when a man is coming from a place of concern for her, or when a man is coming from a place of detesting the other man, trying to thwart the other man's energy, trying to make the woman not feel the other man the way she feels him. And that never works out. You see, the one thing I can tell you is that you talking bad to a woman about me is not going to make her feel less attracted to me. If it's going to do anything, it's going to enhance her attraction to me. So a man who does this is a fool. He's a pure fool. He has no good common sense. So as I say, I will repeat that, just in case you didn't catch every word. There is a man who so desireth a woman that he will slander the good name of his fellow man to elevate himself in her eyes. But as a fool, he is ensnared by his own trap, and the woman will desire it, the very man he hoped to ruin with his slander. Dirty macking will get you nowhere with women. It simply won't. It simply won't. I don't know why dudes, why do men even think it will? It's not even logical to think that works. Especially when we know a woman wants two things. She wants that which she can't have, and she wants power. By wanting that which she can't have, she either wants that is unattainable to her, or she wants that has been presented to her as something that is no good for her, something she should avoid at all costs. That is the very thing she goes straight forward to. So why these beta male simp manginas think that logic is going to work when we understand the psyche of women is crazy to me. Doesn't make any sense. Mr. Punisher, what's going on, bro? I mean, I can ask you the same question, bro. How does wealth make you alpha? Gay men have wealth. Some of the richest men in the world are gay. Some of the richest people in the world are women. You know, it takes the combination of it. You know what, man? Before I go any further, let me address. I'm glad you brought that up, though, Mr. Punisher. Yesterday, man, I was talking about how someone asked me, man, you know, what about, we got into a conversation. Someone asked me, what about Floyd? I guess we were talking about physical confrontation. And my outlook was, when I said about small dudes, I wasn't talking about short. I really got an opportunity to see how many of the homies feel like they're short, because a couple of homies jumped up to finish short dudes. You see, when I said small, I didn't say short. I know, let me tell you something. I know some short cats that I came up with. Rest in peace, man. You know, they all caught a hot one. But I know some short cats that I came up with that I put my money on against anybody in the chat on a one-on-one fight. I don't care how big you think you are, how tough you think you are. I got some short cats that I know can thump. But they wasn't skinny and short. They wasn't small and short. They wasn't 5'7", 150. They wasn't 5'7", 130. If you 5'7", 130, physically, it ain't gonna be too many people you can beat. I don't care if you got Bruce Lee skills. That's why I used the example with Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. If you take Mike in his prime and Floyd in his prime, and Mike ain't much taller than Floyd. Mike is short himself. But if you take Floyd in his prime and Mike Tyson in his prime, how many in here you gonna pick Floyd to win that fight? Who in here is gonna pick Floyd to win a fight against Mike Tyson with them both in their prime? Nobody. Nobody in here is crazy enough to do it. It is said that the average height for men in the US is 5'9". So if you are 5'6", 5'5", you're short. The average height for women is like 5'3". So if you 5'5", homie, you short. And Floyd is like 5'6". That dude is short, man. He's almost a midget. You know, with athletes, they all jack their height up a little bit. It was always said that Charles Barkley was 6'6". Man, Charles Barkley like 6'4.5". Man, he wasn't tall at all. You know what I'm saying? I know Charles Barkley's history from my time in Alabama. He's a legend in Alabama. Always has been. You know, ever since he was in high school. So when I was coming up, Charles Barkley was already a legend. So what I'm saying is, all athletes jack their height up a little bit, man. They jack their height up. They add a few pounds to their weight. Just whatever they can do, man, to get an edge when it comes to being chosen by a team or being picked to win or whatever. But no one in here is going to pick Floyd in his prime against Mike in his prime. No one's fool enough. If you pick Mike 10 times, you're going to win all 10 times. It gets to a point where your size, it doesn't matter what skill you have. It gets to a point where your size is going to be a detriment to you depending on who you're going against. And my point was, me against Floyd is like Floyd against Mike. That's how I view it. Of course, if Floyd and I fight, I'm going to have a chance to train just like he is. So you let me train for 6 months for a fight, even though I never had a professional fight. I had a bunch of street fights, but though I never had a professional fight, let me train for 6 to 9 months to fight Floyd. And me going there at my size and him at his size. The thing is, Floyd can hit Mike hard as he can. He can catch him flush. And there's a chance that Mike will brush it off like a mosquito bite. But we all know if Mike catches Floyd flush, we already know what's going to happen because we've seen Mike knock down much bigger harder men than Floyd with one punch. That's all I'm saying. This wasn't a thing about short. This was just a thing about small. If you don't have height nor size, you are small. And that's at a certain point, it's going to be a detriment to you. Physically, it's going to be a detriment to you. So, yeah, I would too, man. With Evander Holyfield. Come on, man. Mark Zuckerberg ain't no, man. Come on, bro. Mark Zuckerberg is an alpha male, bro. Man, Mark Zuckerberg is a child of privilege, man. You think people become about luck? Come on, bro. But that's a totally different live stream, man. There's plenty of information out there about billionaires. No one starts from ground zero and becomes a billionaire. It's impossible. You can't start from ground zero and become a billionaire. Look how long Diddy has been working at becoming a billionaire. Just look how long he's been working at it. Look how long it took Dre to even get close, and he had to have a huge headphone deal to even get close. I'm telling you, man, it's hard. You can't grind up from zero to being a billionaire. It's a once in a lifetime thing, man. Oprah did it, but I mean, Oprah's different. You know what I'm saying? Oprah's different. You know, she was a trendsetter who came along at a time when she did some things, man, that black people hadn't done before. You know, it's the same thing about Madam C.J. Walker. You know, it's funny that, you know, we sit and we talk a lot about women and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, the first black millionaire on record was a woman, Madam C.J. Walker. The first black billionaire on record in the U.S. was a woman, Oprah Winfrey. Tells you a lot, man, about, you know, the things that we say about women can't do this and they can't do that. They obviously didn't do something, man. They're the first black millionaire, first black billionaire. I'm just saying, man. So what I am saying is this, man. Man, listen, let's talk, man. Listen, alpha male, this is the thing, man. In society, period, in society, you must have, if you don't have size, man, you got to be vicious. We could go to mob bosses. You look at mob bosses, they were either big or they were vicious. And I ain't talking about Sopranos or Scarface. I'm talking about throughout the history of the mafia, man. Mob bosses were either vicious. I'm talking about vicious to the point where, man, people just feared them, or they were big and vicious. It's rare in history, man, that you've seen, you know, anyone who just was diminutive and broke. Come on, man, that don't work. You know, that's just when we just look out through the history, man. And it's not like there have been a whole bunch of alpha men around. It's not like alpha men have been all over the place. You got to go through history and do some real searching, man, and find like some true alphas, man, who stood on alpha principle no matter what. Donald Trump has some qualities. He has some alpha qualities. I'll give him that. He does have some alpha qualities. Come on, man. Donald Trump don't lead, man. He in a position, man, but he don't lead. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. But, you know, man, I mean, it's all about perception, man. Jay Conqueror, what up, bro? TV is in the building. That's it, man. Really, when you think about it, man, alpha starts with your mindset. You can be a buster. You can be a sucker and get rich. Getting rich is just all about having a certain skill set, man, and learning how to capitalize on it and monetize it through marketing and skill sharing, networking. That's all getting rich is. Like, getting rich is, there's kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's kids on YouTube, man, there's a kid on YouTube, man, who makes $500,000 a month just off of YouTube. So let's be realistic. This kid's making $6 million a year just off YouTube. Does that mean he's alpha? He's a kid playing video games. So wealth actually has nothing to do with it. It's about how you come into wealth. Now, if you go, let's say a man who has a skill, he builds it up, he becomes wealthy. Let's compare him to a man who goes into a country and takes over and takes the whole country down and takes over by force. Who's more alpha? Who represents alpha more? It's really just about perception, man. I think like this. I think if you work for a company and you have more money than a man who's an entrepreneur and works for himself, Who's more alpha? Alpha is about control, man. It's simply about control. And the first thing it starts with is self-control. So if you think about it, man, alphas don't have any particular vices. Alpha ain't addicted to alcohol. He ain't addicted. He ain't addicted to drugs. He ain't addicted to sex. He ain't addicted to none of that. As alpha, it's about strength, and strength starts internally. So before you even talk about the material things that make a man alpha, it starts internally. It is about controlling yourself, having a set of principles that you stick to, and you stick to them no matter what. I mean, who's more alpha? A man who has an easy route to wealth and then has a domineering life because he had an easy route to wealth, or a man who builds himself up and he may not have wealth, but people follow him, people love him, people look to him because they like him and they believe he's a leader, as opposed to the man who pays everybody to be around him. So I think, man, it starts with, before you get to any of that stuff, it starts with your psyche. It starts with your mentality. How do you feel about yourself? If you don't prioritize yourself, you cannot be alpha. The first step in alpha is prioritizing yourself. Let's like the same. I think the problem is there are some parallels in the things that it takes to stay alpha and the things that it takes to become wealthy. It takes self-prioritization. It takes self-sacrifice. It takes you standing steady in your principle, no matter what the odds are, no matter what people are saying. You have to stand steady in your principle. It takes that to attain wealth, and it takes that to maintain an alpha existence. So there are some parallels between the two extremes, but there are many differences. There are more differences than there are similarities, because like really anybody can get what do, man, is have the right product or the right service or the right image or the right words at the right time, and it can just take off. That's just how it is. That's how wealth goes, man. But when we're talking about wealth, man, and we're not talking about, we're not talking about at least 8 figures, man, then it takes 8 figures to even talk about rich. You ain't rich until you get 8 figures. Not in this economy. So, I mean, a leader, you can say that Trump is leading, but you can't lead if ain't nobody following you. Just because you're doing what you want to do and making whatever statement you want to make and do it, you're not a leader. How can a man be a leader without followers? Like, how can a man be a pimp without bras? You can't be a pimp without bras. If you go back to your history and you do all this pimp talking all day right there, we can't go back to your history, man, and see some bras you had, then you just talking. It's the same thing with being a leader. If you don't have no followers, who are you leading? You're leading yourself. People follow leaders. Just because you're an idiot in a leadership position don't mean you're a leader. You know what I'm saying? There are leadership positions being taken and given by people. Look at John Gotti. Look how much of an idiot John Gotti was. Look how the Gambino crime family ran smoothly. None of that hoopla until John Gotti got in. How did he get in? He went against the commission and killed the boss of the Gambino crime family. He killed the capo. What happened after that? He moved into position. Shortly after that, he killed the Gambino crime family with his idiot nature, with his Donald Trump style nature. Let me get out here and make a scene. Let me let the people see me. Let me get in the media and talk. Donald Trump reminds me of John Gotti. In the same way he crumbled the Gambino family, he has the potential to crumble the U.S. in more than it already is. So the bottom line is, being in a position of leadership doesn't make you a leader any more than having a whole bunch of women make you a pimp. If you got a whole bunch of women and you paying all of them, you ain't a pimp. You're a sugar daddy. You're a trick. So we just have to look at things for what they're worth, man. So, all right, let's get on in this, man. All right. Let's get to number 8, man. The man who rushes will soon find himself without bread. For the slacker is as the rainbow with a man. I say again, the man who rushes to slumber will soon find himself without bread. For the slacker is as the rainbow, which doeth no good for man, except to look at it. There are many men who have many great talents, who have many great skills, who could provide many great services. And you see those men 10 years later and they haven't done anything with that talent, anything with that skill, to the point where they've just given up on it. They don't even try to sharpen. That man was a slacker. There are men who have been given opportunities to capitalize on their skill, on their gift from the Most High. They shun those opportunities because they don't want to put in the work. They want it to be given to them. They want to wake up one day and just find it on their doorstep. Those men are slackers. A slacker is a detriment to his own existence. What man wakes up and says, I will not do what it takes to enhance my own existence? I will simply exist today as I did yesterday. That man has no earthly idea of what it means to build oneself. And that is a weird thing, in my opinion. I say unto you, my brothers, go thou not into the way with the beta male simp mangina. For though thou art not deserving of his same recompense, by guilt of association you shall receive it. As the fisherman's net takes all creatures unfortunate enough to encounter it, so shall the just deserts of the mangina encompass those close to him. I see that again. I say it one more time. Go thou not into the way of the beta male simp mangina. For though thou art not deserving of his same recompense, by guilt of association you shall receive it. As the fisherman's net takes all creatures unfortunate enough to encounter it, so shall the just deserts of the mangina encompass those close to him. This is why I say, do not keep the company of beta males. Doesn't matter who they are, what they represent in your life. Muhammad Yusuf is in the building. It doesn't matter if they're your dad, if they're your brother, if they're your brother from another mother, if they're your homie from way back when. You still must avoid the beta male, because when his time comes to receive the thing that is his, you may possibly, you will likely be caught up in the midst of that whirlwind, because the Most High has already given you the wisdom it takes to know that you should not be around the beta male simp mangina. So it's up to you as a man to decide that you will do what is right for you, as opposed to trying to hang on to some type of feelings. You see, this is where we go to being emotionally unavailable. You can't do this if you're emotionally available. Emotional unavailability is the only way to pull this off. Simply put, I say unto you, brothers, tricking in all of its forms is akin to destruction of a man's own soul. For what gains a man to spend his substance on that which has been assessed no value? The love and lust of a woman is man's gift from God, yet he had valued it more than the gift of life itself. So I say unto you, let not your focus be to win a prize that is already thine. Let me run through that one more time, man. I don't think y'all feeling me on that one. Tricking in all of its form is akin to destruction of a man's own soul. For what gains a man to spend his substance on that which has been assessed to have no value? The love and lust of woman is man's gift from God, yet he had valued it more than the gift of life itself. So I say unto you, let not your focus be to win a prize that is already thine. Why are men going to go back and forth, doing all of these things for the love and lust of woman, when it is already something that has been granted you by the Most High? Do you recall the punishment of Eve? For your desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over thee. So why are men competing with something that has already been given to them? Because they do not understand their position. You see, the thing that I find funny in this society is that men always want to talk about the position that women should be in. Women should submit. Women should do this. Women should be quiet. Women should know when to sit down. Women should fall back and take a back seat. But the majority of men I have come into contact with are not in the position they're supposed to be in. You don't have the right to have a woman submit to you if you are not in a position you need to be in as a man of the Most High, as a royal soul. You don't have that right. Not every man walking deserves to have a woman submit to him. If you are a man who is willing to submit to a woman, you do not then at the same time deserve to have a woman submit to you. This cannot be done. So that is the very reason that men will find themselves going to bat, bending over backwards for. You know what? It is like looking under the tree on Christmas as a child, seeing the toy that you wanted and throwing a tantrum and crying because you don't have the toy. Even though you just opened the box, you see the toy, you've touched the toy, but you are crying as if you don't have the toy. That is the illogical nature of men jumping through hoops to get that which is already theirs. You see, the thing is, the energy it takes to jump through the hoops and do the tricks like a trick pony, running through circles like a trick pony, like these dudes do for women, you can use that energy. A fraction of that energy could put you in a position you need to be in as a man, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. A fraction of that energy. But that's too much like right. What I've realized is that most men don't want to be men. They want to reap the benefits of being men, but the life of a man is hard. You must focus every day on being a top quality man. You can't just wake up and go about your life. You have to be a man of principle. You have to stand on those principles every day. You have to stand on your belief system every day. You can't waver from it. And that's just too hard because we're in a world where instant gratification is right at our fingertips. So who wants to live the hard life of being a straight up stand up dude every day? And that's the type of thing I'm getting, man. Now, I say unto you, my brothers, the way of life to the wise man is strength, power, and honor within the realm of masculinity. But the fool prides himself in the ability to embrace feminine energy as if it is instinctively his. Woe unto the man who gives himself over to femininity, for his right to masculinity will be robbed of him thereafter. I think that one bears being repeated. I think that one bears being repeated. The way of life to the wise man is strength, power, and honor within the realm of masculinity. But the fool prides himself in the ability to embrace feminine energy as if it is instinctively his. Woe unto the man who gives himself over to femininity, for his right to masculinity will be robbed of him soon thereafter. You see, there are a lot of men here who feel like they should be in touch with their feminine side. The fact that you feel like you have a feminine side says a lot. It speaks volumes about the quality of man you think you are. The quality of man you believe you should be. Your self-worth. Your lack of ability to self-prioritize. These are the things that men must focus on. There is nothing more. This is it. These 15 things, if you apply them to your life every day, you see, the problem is you can't apply the principles of alpha, these pimp proverbs, to your life every other day. You can't apply them to them when you ain't with no woman. See, you can't be alpha when you ain't with no woman and then become beta the very moment a woman comes into your life. You have to stick to your principles no matter what. You have to understand that your alpha essence, your masculinity is your number one prize, and anything that causes you to go against that or lose it or differentiate between. Let me tell you a secret about alpha energy. As I stated, when you lose it, you don't get it back. When you embrace femininity, you don't get your masculinity back. It's a trade-off. You cannot embrace femininity and keep your masculinity at the same time. The more femininity you embrace, the more masculinity you let go of. And there is no, this ain't no Indian. You can't be no Indian giver with this. This is when you give it, it's gone. You stuck, period. So as I say, the way of life to the wise man is strength and power and honor within the realm of masculinity. But the fool prides himself in the ability to embrace feminine energy as if it is instinctively his. Woe unto the man who gives himself over to femininity, for his right to masculinity will be robbed of him soon thereafter. I don't think anything should be added to that. That is top-notch game. Top-notch. The Pimp Proverbs are in full effect. Now, we will go into Kalen W. What up, brother? I see you in the building. Get over here in the chat, man, and see what you guys talking about for a minute. Mr. Punisher says, asks, is a man considered an alpha if he builds his castle before looking for a wife? I think a man should build a castle for himself, whether he's looking for a wife or not. You see, the thing is, if you're looking for a wife in this society, if you're in the US and you're looking for a wife, that's crazy. You know, it makes no sense to do that, man. Like looking for a wife, this is the thing. Looking for a wife will make you settle for less than a wife. You have to let things play out, man. You can't even go into it with the mindset of looking for a wife, because you'll accept. You won't push all the way through the full test. Like there is a battery of tests that a woman must pass to prove herself worthy of being a wife. And the thing is, if you're looking for a wife, you may let her get through 6 out of the 10 tests and go ahead and wife her. If you're not looking for a wife, you're more likely to stick to the entire battery of tests and allow her to prove herself as a wife, man. And I feel like patience is what this is about. Patience is all it's about. You know, you have to see things through to the end. That's what keeps you from being caught up in a situation where it isn't what you thought it was going to be, because you didn't wait and allow the process to play all the way out until the end. Many men in many situations go through a lot. There are men who are starting businesses every day without doing a proper amount of research. They think they know it because they've done it. Like you see a man starting a restaurant because he's a gourmet chef at home. Well, being a gourmet chef at home, cooking for your family, is not the same thing as being a gourmet chef at a restaurant where you're expecting people to pay you for your food and your service. It's a totally different ball game. When the volume of food that needs to be cooked, when instead of preparing 1 meal per day, you've got to make sure that you've got everything ready to be prepped on an entire menu. But there are men who started every day without the proper research, without the proper market analysis. They don't even know what their target demographic is. And these are some of the things that you must know before you start any business. But it's the same thing with any relationship. You must do your market research. You must make sure that the thing that you are thinking is going to be successful. It's going to be successful because you've done all of the homework. So I think a man should, in this, let's forget about the fact that there aren't many wives available in the US. Let's say if this was a patriarchy and things were the way it's supposed to be, I think a man should be financially situated before he decides that he's even ready to have a wife. In a perfect world where, wives were available, just in multitude, you should be very financially situated, because as the Most High says, when you take a new bride, you should be able to take a year off from work and cheer up your new wife. You know what I'm saying? And all that simply means, man, it just get her used to the routine, man. Be there with her and help her get her used to the routine. That's all it is. Because cheering her up, I obviously coming into a situation where you've been had a ruler your whole life and he your dad, you grew up with him being your ruler from the time you were born, to coming into a situation with a new man when all he had to do was come to your dad and say, yo, homie, I want your daughter to be my wife. What you want? I got 15 lamb and 12 sheep. 15 lamb and 12 cows out here. You want them? Cool. She gone. Now she got to go and learn a new life. She got to learn how it's supposed to be. And the thing is, physically, he got to love on her for that time, man, and he got to make the situation home for her. And that's why the Most High said that. But how can you do that if you're not situated? And let me tell you the worst thing. These are two guys who should never consider being in a committed relationship, even in a perfect world. Even in a perfect world, even in a patriarchal society. These are three men that I think should never, ever consider being in a committed relationship. If you know you got time coming up and you finna do a long time in prison, don't do it. Don't do it. You need to be able to detach yourself from what's going on outside the walls. Now, if you ain't got no family and like that, man, around close by, you need somebody that's gonna look out for you, man, to come visit you and put money on your books and all that. Cool. I can dig that. Do that. But even with that, I say, man, you just probably should really be cool with a woman. Just be cool. Just be friends. Just be all of that. Build some other type of understanding. But if you have to, then I can understand that. But if you're about to go do some time, some years, don't do it. If you know you're in the military, and if your wife ain't coming to live with you on base, or let's say if you're in active duty and you're not on a base, let's say you're on a tour, do not get married, man, if your ass finna go on a tour. If you know you're in a situation where you might have to go on a tour, or you got a tour coming up, and now the tours are starting to be crazy, where you do a tour somewhere, man, and they see you somewhere else, and you may get to come home for a short spell. Don't do it. And the other man who should not get married or be in a committed relationship is a man that knows he gonna hit everything that move. If you know you're gonna hit everything that move, this is the thing. Of course, a woman needs to expect that you're not gonna just have her. She needs to understand that there's gonna be one other woman, maybe two other women, but there's gonna be those two women. You ain't just gonna be out there wilding out, just running around knocking everything you can. But if you're that man and you feel like, man, that you just want to hit as much as you can, then don't worry about getting in a commitment, because they're going to put you in a bad situation. You're going to end up dealing with a woman scorned, and hell have no fury like a woman scorned. Thus saith the word of the Most High. Not here by popular demand is in the building. Is there anything wrong with the female gig economy when you won't cut through the BS? I think the majority of men in the U.S., man, should be practicing the gig economy. Let me tell you what happened with the gig economy. And I used to talk bad about the gig economy, but I'm coming from a pimp background, so with me, the gig economy has always been tricky. But when you look at the gig economy, when I look at it versus my life, then it's not, it's not logical for me. It doesn't make sense. It's anti who I am. But when you look at it versus the life of being a man in a committed relationship, when you look at the gig economy versus a commitment, yeah, the gig economy is preferable, because with the gig economy, you're going to be able to interact with some of the most beautiful women, and there aren't going to be any strings attached, and you're going to be able to get what you want and go about your business. You ain't gonna have to worry about no calls, no texts, why you ain't call me, why you ain't text me, why you ain't do none of that. You ain't gonna worry about none of that. If you are a man who is busy and you just want to grind and you just want to spend time with a woman when you need some company and then be done with it, without all the extra stuff, without the dating, without the hanging out, without the holding hands, without the Netflix and chill and all that crap. If you don't want none of that, the gig economy is the way you should go, man. Period. Or if you're just tired of all the extra stuff, if you're just tired of dealing with it, if you don't want anything that can possibly lead a woman to believe you want anything else, the gig economy is for you. And that, you know, and that's a big turnaround for me, man, because I was on that gig economy, man. I was on it, man. But all you're really doing, this is what you're doing with the gig economy. People will say that you're paying for the intimacy or the time. You're not paying for the time or the intimacy. You're paying her to leave you alone once she leaves. You're saying, okay, we're done. I'm going to give you this. You leave me alone. Like, I'll call you, don't call me. I can see where that would make sense for some men, man. Especially, and this is the thing. If you know that you're the type of man, who can get caught up easy with a woman, man, from spending quality time with, and most men can. There are a lot of men who will say, man, that, you know, man, I ain't gonna never be with no one, blah, blah, blah. But if they spend a whole lot of quality time with a woman, they're gonna get caught up. That's the nature of man. I don't have that nature because of my experiences when I was young. When I was younger, it was taken from me. I was robbed of it. I was deprived of it. So I don't have that type of makeup, but the majority of men do. And if you do, then you have to look at other options, man, as the best way for you to interact with women, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you may possibly end up in feel like you're being pressured or feel like you're open to a relationship when you don't want to be. It's easy to tell yourself what you won't do when you're not with a woman. It's easy to say that. But when you're with a woman and you're starting to spend quality time with her, a lot of the things you're telling yourself now aren't going to apply. Because if you're spending quality time with her and you're enjoying yourself, there's more of a chance for you to open that door that you shut your emotions off in. And once you open that door and she gains access to your emotions, then you're done for, homie. You're done for. That's why I say you have to practice emotional unavailability if you want to deal with women. If you don't want to deal with women, you don't really have to practice it. You don't have to practice it as much. You don't have to make sure it's as steadfast. But if you want to deal with women, man, the best way for you to do it is make sure you're emotionally unavailable. You have to shut those emotions off to the point where they can be accessible. You have to shut them off to where you can't even access them. You had to figure out the combination. They've been locked away so long, you don't even remember the combination. If you want to get them now, you got to get some bolt cutters and cut the lock. That's where you need to be, because I'm telling you what I know, man. You can say what you want to say right now when you're just chilling or you just using the gig economy or something like that. But when you're in the presence of a woman, you're enjoying her company to the point where you start to want her around more, you're going to open that door to those emotions, man. Then you're going to be caught up. You're going to find yourself right back in the same situation. That's why men go back and forth into these relationships. That's why men will be in a relationship or be married, and then he'll say, well, I ain't going to do it no more. And then he'll be back and you'll see him again 2 years later, man, he married again. Then that'll be a divorce. Then he'll say, man, that was my last time. You'll see him again 4 years later, man, he'll be caught up again. Not because he's a glutton for emotional pain. It's because he doesn't understand the need to be emotionally unavailable. And when you're emotionally unavailable, the very moment you feel like you might want to put your hand on that emotional door and open it, you got to run for the hills, man. You got to put some distance between you and whoever that woman is that's making you feel like you want to open that emotional door. Because once it's open, you're going to be caught up. Because all of a sudden, when you open that door and she get access to your emotion, you're playing on her field now. You go from playing on your own field to waking up like you've been sleeping like Rip Van Winkle. Now you realize that you was on the basketball court. Now you on the volleyball court. And you sitting there like, hold up, man. I ain't never played volleyball a day in my life. But you on her court now. And once you're on her court, she dictates the situation. You're going to be more apt to try to cater to her when you open that door to those emotions. So I'm telling you, man, the number one thing you as a man should do is guard your emotions. And the only way to do that is to do everything in your power to become emotionally unavailable. If I could preach one thing to men, it would be that. Become emotionally unavailable. Figure out how to rein in your emotions and store them in a place where only you can get to them. And don't be so quick to get to them, because every time you get to them, you're making yourself emotionally vulnerable. Oh, the 313 Law in here, man. What up, bro? I'll be honest with you, man. When I get by 70 or 80, man, I'm probably gonna go ahead and marry my little chick, man. I ain't gonna have but a good man about 10 years left, 10, 15 years left, man. And I'm go ahead and wipe my little chick down, man, have her around me, man, and giving me sitz baths, man, sponge baths and all that, man. I'm still be pretty lean, still be pretty tight, but Not probably not as tight as I am now, not at 90, you know, not at 80, 85 now. But I'm telling you, man, that's probably what I'm gonna do, man. I got to figure out how I'm gonna work out, man. You know, the money thing, but something crazy, like if something happened to me, man, there's gonna be a 10-year investigation. You know, if I die in suspicious circumstances, it's gonna be a 10-year investigation before any money is distributed. Something like that, man. How to keep from trying to. But you know what? My game's still gonna be strong. At 80, let me tell you something. As strong as my game is now, at 80, I might not be exactly where I am physically now, but man, my game is gonna be killer. My game is gonna be killer, man. I can already sell an Eskimo icebox in the middle of December, so my game gonna be killer then, boy. Telling you. So, you know, that's one of the main things that I think men should focus on, man. So let's get back into this, man. Number 12. It is better to have only enough sustenance to ward off hunger with peace of mind than to be seated at the head of a feast with turmoil, strife, and backbiting. I say again, it is better to have only enough sustenance to ward off hunger with peace of mind than to be seated at the head of a feast with turmoil, strife, and backbiting. You see, it is better for you as a man to be in a place of peace, no matter what your substance is, no matter what you have, no matter what you don't have, no matter what kind of wealth you have. None of that matters if you don't have peace of mind. Peace of mind is priceless. So all your material possessions are worth giving away just to get peace of mind. No matter what you have, if there's strife, if there's turmoil, if there's backbiting, if there's, if you got adversaries all around, there's confrontation going on all the time, man. It is not worth whatever it is you have. It is better to give it all up in order to have that peace of mind. And that is the truth of the matter. I say unto you, brothers, do not take heed to counsel that causes you to willingly go about life making idiot decisions. If the results thereof are detrimental to your overall quality of life, then know that it is not in line with the will of the Most High. I say again, do not take heed to counsel that causes you to willingly go about life making idiot decisions. If the results thereof are detrimental to your overall quality of life, then know that it is not in line with the will of the Most High. People will tell you anything. People will tell you things that work for them, but they know aren't going to work for you. People will tell you things that don't even work for you. They don't even work for them, convince you that they do work for them, and then have you trying them when they've never even seen them work themselves. This is the counsel that I'm speaking of. When a man tells you that right now, you should leave your job right now and just start a business, whatever business you think of, that's not logical. I believe that every man should be an entrepreneur. I believe that every man should tap into his entrepreneur spirit. Even if you do have a job, you should still tap into your entrepreneur spirit and feel what it feels like to be a boss. Every man should have the experience of being a boss. And not just for the financial reason, be a boss for the feeling of being responsible for if it fails or succeeds, be for reaping all of the glory when something works. You see, when you have a job, you never reap all of the glory for when something works. It's someone else's glory. You just contribute to it. When you reap all of the glory for when something works, and then you reap all of the backlash for when it fails, it makes you a stronger man. It makes you see the other side of life, as opposed to being a contributor to something, to be the one who is responsible for the ups and downs, the one who takes the brunt of everything, the good and the bad. That makes you, it develops character. It makes you a different type of man. So I think that every man should at some point experience the thrill of being an entrepreneur, the thrill of being a boss. Even if you don't have any employees, the thrill of hiring people to do services for you and telling them what you want, not asking them to do it, telling them, because if I ain't paying you to provide a service for me, then I dictate to you the way that service is done. Every man should have that, especially if you've been working a job your entire life. You need to feel that entrepreneur spirit, man. It's a different thing. It's a different feeling. It's just different, man. It makes you view things from a different perspective, and it's addictive. Entrepreneur spirit is addictive, man. I'm telling you, very addictive. Even a failed business makes a man want to try again, and implement the things that he learned. Yeah, you and me both, GB. Man, that's it. I think that's, especially in a certain environment, man, that's all of our first shot at entrepreneurship. Managing money, you know what I'm saying? Having enough money to buy supplies, you know what I'm saying? Making sure that you always have enough to buy supplies, and then you have to pay your employees. And this is just, the way these things work, man. You have to provide the system. I think that's what it was. It taught us how to create systems that work, financial systems that once you put them in place, all you have to do is make sure the numbers match. That's what it's about. When you're a worker for your entire life, the only numbers that need to match is how much you bring home and how much you need to maintain your life. But when you're looking at the numbers and the numbers need to match because you have a load of responsibilities, it's a different ball game, man. It makes you view things from and it gives you a different level of confidence. I don't care how much money you make at a job. You could be making mid six figures. You could be doing 500 a year at a job, making 100 racks a year as an entrepreneur makes you feel better than making 500 a year at a job. Because when you look at those 100 racks, you look at it and say, man, I built this. I remember when I was at zero. I remember when I invested my last. Well, I thought I was finna get evicted. I thought my car was finna get repoed, man. I remember these things. And here I am now, man, just made six figures for the first time as an entrepreneur. There's nothing more rewarding than that. Nothing more rewarding than that, man. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, man, to build. So I say unto you, brothers, a woman of virtue shall not be treated as a harlot, nor the harlot a woman of honor. Each shall be compensated her deserved worth, whether they be the wages of transgressions or the proper recompense for right doing. I say again, a woman of virtue shall not be treated as a harlot, nor the harlot a woman of honor. Each shall be compensated her deserved worth, whether they be the wages of transgressions or the proper recompense for right doing. Now, I know what you're going to say. I know what everybody's going to say. Jay Stacks, I know you're going to say, man, there ain't no women of virtue. There ain't no women of honor. Foolishness. We're not limited to women in the United States when we talk about women. For you to say there are no women of honor in the world, there are no women of virtue in the world, by comparison to, you have to look at everything like this. You're excited about a new job that pays you more money than you ever made. Even though in the large scheme of things, it may not be a lot of money. Let's say if the most you've ever made was $10 an hour, which in 40 hours is $400 a week before taxes. Let's say suddenly you're somewhere at a job where they pay you $25 an hour. You in hog heaven because it's more than twice as much as you've ever made in your life. So to you, it's a come up. But to the person that's running the business, it's nothing. It's peanuts. It's all about perception. So the thing is, we're all in here. When we talk about the negative experiences we have with women and we see other men having with women, there is a quality of woman that will surpass any quality of woman that you've ever experienced. And you will treat her differently. You can say you want, you bring a lot to the homies because we know the truth. And what I am saying is that woman should, I guess the point in this is to say that not every woman you meet should be treated the exact same. But let me tell you something. That is why the beta male is always crying about how women love the bad boys. Women like the thugs. Women like the asshole. Women like, you know why they do? Because unbeknownst to you beta males out there, we don't treat all women the same. Listen, man, I treat women well. When a woman comes to my crib, man, she enjoys herself. When I go to her crib, she enjoys herself. I don't treat her bad. I don't dog her out. I don't let the experiences that I see out here going on with women, I don't let anything I've ever seen with any other woman dictate the way I'm going to interact with the woman that's in my presence at any particular time. What I want that woman to do is enjoy herself and relax to the point where she makes sure I enjoy myself and relax. So that is why I say you cannot treat every woman the same, man. You simply can't. It doesn't work. Even if you view them all the same, I didn't say how you view them. Even if you view them all the same, you can't treat them all the same. You see what I'm saying? This is top level game. And this is the type of game that men who have success with women, success. I'm not talking about going out cold approaching 100 women to get 2 numbers. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about men who have success with women. Men who have a success rate 80% and above. This is the one thing they know that the average male don't know. Get out of your feelings and stop trying to treat every woman like she bad. I don't care what let me tell you something, man. If I meet a woman, I don't care what she do to you. I don't care what kind of relationship you have with her. She could treat you like a dog. I don't care. That was you that let the woman treat you like a dog. I'm going to treat the woman like I treat every woman. Because you know what ain't going to happen? I ain't going to be treated like a dog. So I don't care how she treated nobody. Shit, man, I'm not concerned about that at all. I don't care if she took you for everything you had. I don't care. You the sucker who let her take you for everything you had. I don't care nothing about that. What I ain't telling you is I deal with women based on their interaction with me, period. Nothing else. And I be hearing cats telling me, man, you got to know her past history. No, why? Why? You do not know her past history for what? How's it going to benefit you to know her past history? How do you think you're going to get the honest truth about her past history is what I want to know. Like, what man goes out and asks a woman how many men she done been with? That's beta, man. It's sucker stuff. Because if you ask them that, you're obviously trying to find wifey type or something. But like, when you get to the point where you comfortable asking a woman that? When you first meet her? First time you see her? First conversation? When you asking that? It's foolishness, man. I simply treat women the way they deserve to be treated. I give them the treatment they earn, period. Now, once she shows herself to be a harlot, then she gets treated like one. Once she shows herself to be less than a harlot, just a woman who opens up for the right man, and I'm that right man. So I don't look at a woman and say, well, she did that for me, she probably did that for everybody. No. I don't think she did that for everybody, because I ain't everybody. So there's some things that I'm going to get her to do that you probably ain't going to be able to get her to do, man. There's something I can get her to do, man, in a week that you couldn't get her to do and you would have for a year. That's just how it is. I ain't bragging. I'm just telling you the history of my life, past and present. I'm just telling you how things go in my life. And that's what I base my interaction on, man. So that's why I say that, man. A woman of virtue shall not be treated like a, and that's just the way it is, man. So, all right, man, let's get into this last one, man, because I do want to get a homie Black Brown, man, time to come on with his stream, man, because I want to listen to it just like y'all do, man. The disobedient woman is like hunger to a starved lion. Though the food be plentiful, he will eat as if it is but a morsel, for he knoweth not when the next kill will be made. So is the combative woman to him who houses her. Though his kindness be limitless, she will use him relentlessly until there is only wrath remaining. For she knoweth not when her next beta male simp mangina victim will arrive. I don't know if you heard that, brothers. I'm going to kick it one more time. The disobedient woman is like hunger to a starved lion. Though the food be plentiful, he will eat as if it is but a morsel. For he knoweth not when the next kill will be made. So is the combative woman to him who houses her. Though his kindness be limitless, she will use him relentlessly until there is only wrath remaining. For she knoweth not when her next beta male simp mangina victim will arrive. I'm going to tell you, brothers, this is one that I live my life by. I will not have a disobedient woman in my presence. She has the right to not obey me. She has that right. She has the right to not submit to me. She has that right. But she does not have the right to be in my presence under those circumstances. You see, this is where the reward system comes. And if she's disobedient, she's not going to want to be around me because what she's used to men giving her will not come. Like homie GB says, man, the reward system is what you must put in play. She must earn rewards. So I don't date women. She hasn't earned a date from me. What woman have I just met that deserves a date from me? What woman deserves for me to take her to dinner? What woman deserves for me to buy her a drink? What woman no, she has to earn those things. What woman deserves for me to cook a meal for her? She has to earn those things, man. I'm not out here meeting random women talking about come let me cook for you. Cooking for you is reserved for women who deserve it, man. I ain't around here, man, gifting women like that. You see, the problem is there ain't no pimping left. Pimping is dead. Ain't nothing but simping out here. But I'm gonna tell you, pimping ain't dead. These boys just scared. They're scared of the backlash of being this way with women. They're scared they're gonna be called cheap. They're scared they're gonna be called this. They're scared they're gonna be called that. They're scared. I don't care what you call me, shawty. I'm telling you like this. If you want to go on a date with me, you better put in some work. If you want me to cook dinner for you, if you want me to get over my stove and cook my food for you, you better put in some work and earn it. Let me tell you something, man. And this right here is going to kill you right here. This is how deep I take it. If she want me to break her back, she got to earn that. She can't just walk up and say, hey, can you break my back? No, shout, I don't know you like that. I'm not putting in no work for no woman who ain't earned it, man. She got to earn work from me, man. I make everybody else pay me for work. If somebody want me to come do a speaking engagement, man, you think I'm going to go out there and just speak for free? No, man. If you want free content from me, come to YouTube. I don't do speaking engagement for free. I might do one for, I can't lie. I'll go speak to a group of boys, like in an inner city school, man. They ain't really got no money in there, man. So sometimes I'll do that. But we're talking about, man, you want me to come do like a speaking engagement? Come on, man. To me, that's mentoring. I'm not going to charge for mentorship. I'm just not going to charge for that. It's my duty to give young boys the game so they won't get caught up, so they can avoid all the pitfalls that we got caught up in. But we're talking about speaking engagement. You got to break bread. Listen, I don't do free shows. I ain't coming nowhere doing no free show. I'll do a show for a charity, depending on what the charity is, if I support the charity. But I don't do free shows, man. Can't nobody get me to come do no free show. I don't do free shows. You want free content? I got it online. I don't make free public appearances, man, I got to show up for free, and then I got to give you some content for free? Oh, no, bro, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. So what I'm saying is the time is now for men to understand that you have to deal with women on a reward basis. You have to have a reward system, bro. Your game will shoot through the roof if you have a reward system. It's going to take some getting used to because you're going to blow through a lot of women, man, because they ain't going to be used to this. But the more you get your jewels and tools up, let me tell you something. Women don't, if you fake your jewels and tools, man, I know cats who fake their jewels and tools all the time, man, and get plenty of women. If you start to implement a reward system, it puts them in a frame of mind to know that you're not an easy ride. And so you get to eliminate all the women who think you're going to be an easy ride. You save yourself the trouble of having to sift through women who you don't even want to deal with anyway. So as opposed to the cold approach, you just let women choose. When women choose, you get an opportunity to run down on them, man, and ease into it. She's going to be more likely to accept the things that you're saying because she chose on you. She want you. You ain't want her. She wanted you. All this is just game, bro. This is the type of game that we need in order to invest. And let me tell you something. Once you can get a woman to invest something, like the homie C. Doug said, if you get a woman to invest something, then she's all in. One thing about women, when they have to invest of themselves, They stick to things. They only invest of themselves to things that they're interested in, to invest in even more. And that's just the reality of the matter, man. So I want to repeat this last one more time, man, so we can know it. So we can know it before we go it. The disobedient woman is like hunger to a starved lion. Though the food be plentiful, he will eat as if it is but a morsel, for he knoweth not when the next kill will be made. So is the combative woman to him who houses her. Though his kindness be limitless, she will use him relentlessly until there is only wrath remaining, for she knoweth not when her next beta male mangina victim will arrive. Brothers, I am telling you, this is the real deal. This is the real talk. This is real spit. This has been the Pimp Proverbs, courtesy of your pimp partner, the Book of Alpharonomy. This has been real, homies. This has been live. I have enjoyed this. This has been a blast, man. And I am telling you right now that I am with you as we all transition over to the brother Black Ram 313. I appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a stone blast, man. There you go, C-Dub. There you go, man. Listen, you have to control your sexual desires, man. Don't let your lust lead you into a situation that's going to, be detrimental to you. You can't let lust be the determining factor for you, brothers. And that sums all of this up. Gilbert Bird, peace out, bro. SJ3, I appreciate it, homie. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody coming through, man. I appreciate the super chats. We're going to go ahead, man, and slide on out of here, man. Get over here and holler at the homie. Matter of fact, let me get my headphones so I can put them on. Kaylin W, I appreciate that, bro. Peace out, homie. The demigod, peace out, bro. Salute. C-Dub. Yeah, no doubt, man. Always make her invest in something you or something you believe in, no doubt. She has to invest in something I believe in. Fist, man. I ain't see Fist in here, man. Fist, I ain't see you up in here, bro. I ain't see the homie J Rock in here either, man. Yeah, I saw J Rock in here. All right, homies. Avoid the haters, avoid the fakers, avoid the betas. And as always, alphas up, betas down. Homies. Peace.